Hello everybody, I'm Bill, also known as Plateau Collector. Where's the name come from? Well, I live on a plateau and I like to collect. So, not the most genius, didn't take hours and hours of brainstorming to come up with, but it's going to work for now. So, I want to thank you all so much for joining me for my very first video. Very first video. And unfortunately, I don't know how to edit yet, so that's going to be in there. So we'll go with it. This video today is going to be my first submission to get cards graded. So to kind of make a long story short, I was a huge collector, and unfortunately, my age range puts me right at 86 through 91 as my heyday for collecting. Back in the day when that 87 Topps gold paneled Mark McGwire rookie card was gonna allow us to retire early, and that 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. was like the greatest. It was like the finding the Ark in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was just the greatest thing ever. And fast forward 30-ish years, and I thought, why don't I pull out my cards, see what's going on, see if I have a gold mine in my closet. And it turns out I had no idea. I didn't know what grading was. The Beckett magazine that I used to get each month wasn't around. There were websites. There was this, there was that. And the first thing I found out is all those cards in the, now I know it as the junk wax era, were so mass produced in that era that they're all virtually worth nothing, with few exceptions. So that was disheartening to say the least. But nonetheless, my parents finally said, okay, you're in your 40s, you need to get all these cards out of our house. So I had my walk-in closet full of cards. I had to figure out what to do. So I thought I'd pull them out and start looking at eBay and just kind of looking at them. And, you know, luckily at the time I had an idea of who the good players were, so I had pulled them out separately. But I just went through everything. And I found a few, and I remember I found one card that you'll see in a little bit of John Elway, rookie, and I looked on eBay, and of course I made the rookie mistake of going to sold and going to highest price, and it was like $15,000, and I was like, oh my God, I was right. I am going to retire off of these cards. But the more I looked into it, I realized it has to be a PSA 10, and pricing fluctuates, and so it may not be worth that now. So there's a good chance it could be worth $5 if I'm lucky. So I decided to take it upon myself and figure out what I actually have here. And if I end up making a lot of money, awesome. If I don't make any money, that's fine. If I lose money, it'll be a learning experience, but at least I can finally know for sure if these cards are actually worth anything. So that kind of gets us up to here. I have spent about, a month or so kind of looking at my cards, looking at eBay. I've even bought a few packs when I've actually have been lucky enough to see some at Target. And so I've learned a little bit, but now I'm going to do my first submission. So from what I understood, PSA was the way to go. That was the, that was the major leagues. There were some other options, but they weren't the same. So I looked into that first. Well, I found out that pricing apparently has gone up a lot in the past year because of the trading card boom with the pandemic. Pricing's gone up like crazy. And when I looked into it, it was 9-month turnaround time to get your cards. Now, side note, different video, they've ceased taking anything new so they can get caught up, but it was going to cost me a few $100s potentially per card, and I might not get them for 9 months, and I didn't even know if they were going to grade that well, and so that just didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I started looking into Beckett and Sports Card and see what they were all about, and they are all kind of expensive and had a long turnaround time. Then I found CSG, which is appears to be the brand new kid on the block. I like their slab, as they call it when they put the card and put the rating on it. I like their slab. It's got the individual ratings, 4 different ratings if you want. And I saw that it was going to cost me significantly less and have a 15 to 25 day turnaround. So I was like, okay, I'm sold. My feeling was if the cards don't come back graded like I'd like, then I'm going to feel a lot less bad paying $40 a card than a few $100s a card. And if they come back with good ratings and it costs me a few $100, $1,000 or whatever, but I get it 9 months earlier than I would with PSA, then that makes sense to me as well, because money in your pocket's always a lot more valuable than future money that you may or may not get. So I went through and I pulled out 5 cards that I thought were worth sending in. Now, before I show you the cards, CSG has a few different tiers. They've got a basic tier, a premium tier, and elite tier, I believe. I went with the premium tier simply because with the premium tier, you got, it would cost $150, but you got a $150 credit on submission. And you also got a $20 shipping kit they send you. So when you send a shipment in, it makes it a lot easier. So a few other small little perks, but I thought, that makes sense. The elite was $250, and then you get all that plus 10% off each tier level, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be sending in $1,000 worth of cards to make that make sense. And if I do end up doing that later on down the road, I can always upgrade at that time. So and then of course the submissions are several options. For your cards that are tens of thousands of dollars, it costs you, I think, $200 a card. I went with the Express, and that's for cards up to $1,000 value. None of these are going to be $1,000 value, I'm almost sure, but it was $40 per card to get turnaround time of 15 days versus $25 for, I think, a 25 or 30 day turnaround. And frankly, I want to see what happens and get this done. And I'm fearful that they'll also all of a sudden shut down operations or extend their time out as people start pulling from PSA to these other companies. So that's what it is. So, I paid $40 a card for submission. I think I paid another $5 or $10 a card to get the 4 individual rankings, just because I think that's a cool feature that people like to see. And I paid, I think, $5 a card so I could just ship them without putting in all the detailed explanation, mostly because I'm lazy and I figured they're the experts, they'd be better at than me anyways. So it cost me about $295, I think, but I had that credit, so it's only cost me about $145. So we'll see. But let me show you the cards real quick, and I will wrap up this video. And then a few weeks down the road, when I get them back, we can revisit it and see what it is. So the first card, so the one baseball card, which, as I said, this defines my childhood. If those upper decks were brand new that year, and they were just so sexy, and they had the hologram, and they just, Tops and Fleer were a thing of the past when these first upper decks came out. And this Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card is still one of the most iconic cards ever. And when I pulled one, it was one of the best days of my life. And so I'm anxious to see, if nothing else, I'll keep it in its slab if it's not worth anything, just so I can always have those memories. But as far as I can tell, I did get one of these things. I realize it's a little loop with the light on it to look at corners and such. I realize now I probably would have rather have gone with like an overhead magnifying glass or something. But this one looks like it's got pretty good corners. The centering looks pretty good. So I've got pretty high hopes for this one. The next one, I actually have 2 of them, is John Elway rookie cards. And like I said, these probably have the biggest ceiling. These have the potential to be the biggest home run for me. But one of them's a little beat up. The other one's a little better. I'm just not quite as confident that these are going to be 9s to 10s, but we'll see. And then, of course, I don't remember ever collecting basketball cards, but I must have bought a few packs at some point, because I have the 97 or 87 Fleer Jordan and the sticker. So these are, have potential to be pretty valuable as well. The rookie card's pretty good. The sticker's a little beat up, but I'm anxious to see. As I said, this may end up just being a $400 lesson, and I'll have 5 cool cards to display in slabs. But I'm sending them off tomorrow, Let me know if you have any questions, or if you do run across this video. I'm hoping to post content as much as possible to truly get something for me to be excited about, and to hopefully educate people who are starting from the very beginning just like me. So many of these videos kind of pick up at professionals and people who have been doing this forever, and it's hard to keep up, I've found. So I just want from somebody who is brand new to this and take this journey with me. Hit subscribe, notifications, leave comments. I'm anxious to get this journey started. Thank you so much. Once again, signing off, Bill from Plateau Collector.